Today on a special bonus episode on Nos Cambiaron los Muñequitos.
A lot of the stuff I do that looks like marketing for my business is actually also the free stuff I'm putting out there for the folks who either can't afford working with me, whether it be financially or time-wise or energy-wise or whatever reason, because there's so many amazing stories and experiences that can connect us together. And without those getting out there and being, spread around so people know about them, it's impossible to make those connections. So I try to have my marketing be also free stuff for people who just need to do it by themselves.
My name is Cristóbal Colón, and this is Nos Cambiaron los Muñequitos.
Nos cambiaron los muñequitos. Nos cambiaron los muñequitos. Nos cambiaron los muñequitos. Nos cambiaron los muñequitos. Nos cambiaron los muñequitos.
Gracias por acompañarnos en este nuevo episodio de Nos Cambiaron los Muñequitos. Si eres un escucha frecuente de este podcast, te adelanto que este es un episodio bono con una conversación en inglés. And if this is your first time listening to this podcast, thanks for being here. This is a special bonus episode. Normally, all our conversations are in Spanish, but every once in a while, we meet people with interesting stories, and the only option is to have a conversation in English. This is one of those conversations. Let me introduce you to our guest.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Fuccio. I'm obsessed with getting your experience, your stories, and your message out into the world via audio podcasts.
Stephanie is an audio podcast discoverability strategist. She also teaches how to use AI for writing and planning and helping teams communicate more effectively. This is a special bonus episode, and we're talking with Stephanie Fuccio. Every once in a while, you know that this podcast is mostly in Spanish, but every once in a while, I find someone that I think that they have a very interesting story and I would like to talk to them. I'll learn some things about them. So this is one of those episodes that we're doing it in English. Right now, we're having a conversation today with Stephanie Fuccio. Did I say it right?
Yes. Perfecto.
Where are you living right now?
Right now, I'm in Bilbao, Spain.
Okay, that's a good point. We'll go back to that in a couple of minutes. But first, where you were born?
I was born in Brooklyn, New York.
Okay.
In America. Yeah.
Okay. And a lot of people, when they're a little kids, they show up some talents or some things on their personality that people say, well, you're going to be a lawyer or she's going to be a teacher. When you were a little kid, what do you want it to be when you grow up?
I don't know that I thought of it as a job, but I was always recording weird sounds and talking into the mic and imitating famous DJs and how they talked on the radio. And so, and making up weird stories and I always was walking around with my mini boombox and trying to capture things.
Okay. That's very interesting because when I was a little kid, maybe I at some point I was doing that, but since I'm now a little older than you, at that time the technology wasn't very available or very accessible to a lot of people. At some point I got a tape recorder, not like a boombox, just like a very commercial, professional looking recorder. And I remember recording those. But right now, if you want to record anything, you have your phone, you have a lot of technology that make it so easier.
So much easier. Yeah.
So you were recording just noises or sounds, or you started recording your own voice?
Oh, all of it, anything I could get on tape. And then with the tape that you had, did you like cut and splice different sounds and things together?
No, I was just recording, and those cassettes that it's not very practical to do editing or things like that.
Fair. Yeah, I tried all kinds of things. It depends on what I was listening. I was basically kind of listening and then recreating some of the things and modifying it to how I wanted to play with it and experiment. So, yeah, I did a lot. And I don't think I thought of it as a profession because I was the youngest in my family. So I'd walk around and make people listen to these creations. And I'm sure they were horrible. And they're like, okay, all right, thank you. So I never thought I could have a living off of this someday. I just thought this is really fun.
Okay. And when you grew up and there comes a time that you are in high school and you have to make a choice, maybe the first big choice in your life, what do you want to study? Where do you want to go to college? So what was it for you at that moment?
For me, it was a little delayed. I moved right after high school. And so my big career decision was a few years later, after I got on my feet when I moved from the East Coast from the East Coast in Pennsylvania to California. And a few years after that, when I transferred to a college, not just a community college or what have you, that's when I made the big decision to go into the sciences of all things.
Okay. And why did you move? Why did you move to the West Coast?
The obvious answer is for love. I got engaged to a man who lived in California.
Okay.
But if he lived somewhere I didn't want to go to, I don't think we would have been together, to be honest with you. So I think it was like location and person combined was a good package.
He was the excuse.
He was the excuse. Yeah. I wanted to live in a big city again. And he lived in a big city that was, not sunny or not snowy most of the half of the year. So, yeah.
So to what city did you move?
Los Angeles.
Okay. So when you see a lot of people talking about the difference between the East Coast and the West Coast and the culture and the people and the personality of people from New York and people from LA. Was it easy for you to adjust moving to Los Angeles?
Yes and no. It was very easy to adjust culturally because I think I was more like that in not working as much and enjoying life and that kind of aspect. But as far as like how I dressed and what I ate and how I thought and how fast I spoke and walked, that took a while to slow down. So there's some things yes, some things no.
So Stephanie, right now you describe yourself as let me read it here because it's very specific. You describe yourself as a podcast specialist, podcast manager, and working with AI writing and client support and global perspective and many things that. How do you finally arrive to podcasting? How do you get to know what a podcast was?
I've been a podcast listener far longer than a podcast service provider. So I started listening. I went from, listening to voices on the radio when I was a kid to listening to audio dramas and then listening to podcasts when they first came out, when you had to drag and drop the audio from the computer to your MP3 player. So I've been listening to podcasts the whole time and have always been a really avid consumer of all things audio. It wasn't until we moved back to China in 2017 that I had gone into a job that was still kind of education-esque, because that's where I ended up being, is teaching communication. But I didn't have a lot of the time-consuming aspect of education, and I had a lot of free time that I was talking to a dear friend of mine, and she said, "So why don't you have a podcast yet?" And I thought, I don't know. And that's when that began. So that was 2017.
Okay. Okay. But I've seen a lot of people, they say, oh, I like talking a lot and I would like to have a podcast. But when you ask them, what are you going to talk about?
Mhm.
What do you think is that great thing that you have to share with somebody else and talk about it? In your case, what was it?
It was about, at the time, I thought it was about how different it was to live in different countries and how they
Okay.
impacted us. And now I know it's just about being different. It's about adjusting and being grounded, no matter
Okay.
where you are.
So you said that you moved to LA. Now you said somewhere there that you moved to China. So what was the reason of all that moving?
Curiosity, my favorite word. I love the US. It has its advantages. It has things I really enjoy about it, but I was bored out of my mind. And I didn't like the work culture, and I never really fit in. And so I was like, there's this whole world. Can
Okay.
I go there? I want to go there. But I'm a terrible traveler. I get exhausted quickly. I don't like staying in a place for 2 days. That takes me that long to find my favorite coffee shop. So I
Okay.
wanted to stay longer. And
Okay.
so that's when I started to live and work overseas.
Okay. Well, you know that this is a very relaxed conversation, and
Mm.
I tell all my guests that if I ask something that you don't want to answer, you can tell
Sure.
me. But one of the things about traveling is that I think that it expands everything in your life, your perception of the world, of people, or of
Mhm.
personalities, of your culture. I don't know, you expand. And right now in the United States, I see that maybe a lot of problems or a lot of things that people say will be changed if people will travel more.
Hmm.
If you get to know other people, other places, other countries, I don't know, your view of the world of everything changes.
Hmm.
Do you think it happened to you, and do you think it's a thing that most people will have to do?
I think it's true for everybody, not just Americans. I think that not just traveling to a place, because you can travel to a place and not
Yeah.
see the differences. I think traveling and connecting to and seeing the differences and talking to people and acknowledging that there isn't really a right and wrong. There's a different way that people do things. I think that's really important for everybody. Absolutely.
Okay. So you said that on 2017 you started a podcast,
Yes.
and it was just yourself. You wanted to talk. You wanted to work on what you wanted to do. But
Mhm.
at some point, you figure that it could be an opportunity to do something else, to be as a side gig, as a business opportunity. When that happened in your life?
Yeah, not that far after. It was about 3 years after when we moved from China to Germany. My husband and I were both searching for we were both job hunting,
Okay.
and the pandemic hit and all the jobs froze. and I was still podcasting like crazy because I had even more free time to do the things I wanted to do, but I was looking for work, and then people started looking for me because they knew I had a podcast. And they're like, I have no way to network. Can you help me with mine, or can you help me start mine? And so that's when I started to kind of do it as I'll do this until I get a job.
Okay.
And here we are 6 years later.
Okay. Okay. So when you started your podcast, do you think it was it popular at that time? Was a success, or was very, I don't know, with the size of your audience? How popular was it?
Yeah, it was. I gauged success on am I having the conversations I want to have with my
Yeah.
guests and with my
Mhm.
audience?
Yeah.
And to my shock and amazement, I rarely got a no. When I stopped doing solo episodes and I started to interview people, I rarely got a no for an interview request. And I started to get complete strangers that I had no connection to, like third connection or anything, nothing. Email me long, passionate emails of, oh my God, I've had that same experience. I'm so glad you all said that out loud.
Okay.
That to me was success.
Okay. Yeah. To me, success is getting to know people. At some point, I've been able to ask people that before that I already admired, like a singer from Norway or a trumpet player from another town in Puerto Rico. So to me, the podcast, it's been like an excuse to ask, to have a conversation. Normally it's you see someone and say, can we talk to you about this? And it's very hard to do that. But if you have a podcast, I have a podcast, and would you like to come to my podcast and talk about your life or whatever you do? That's really amazing, and that's the part that I most enjoy of podcasting. Being able to talk to people that normally I won't have the chance to talk to. And it's like some years ago, I was in New York, and I was JFK Airport, and I was coming back to Puerto Rico, and I left my wife near the gate, and I went to the bathroom. When I was running to the bathroom because it was a little late, and then I saw Simon Sinek. Did I pronounce it right?
Yes,
Sinek?
I
Simon
think so,
Sinek. And I saw him, and I stopped. And I went to talk to him, and I asked him, "Are you Simon Sinek?" He says, "Yes." And I said, I'm a podcaster from South Farm, Puerto Rico, and a big fan of yours. Can I have a picture with you? And he says, "Yeah, I'll say." Normally, because I'm a very shy person, before having a podcast, I wouldn't do anything. I would see him and say, that's Simon Sinek, and that's all. But at that point, being a podcaster gave me like the permission to, and the courage to go to him and ask for podcasting for me, it's been like that. It's been like a big opportunity to learn and to connect with people.
I love hearing that so much, like so much. I think connections is the one thing I say the most when I talk about podcasting. So that resonates so hard. And for me, when I resisted doing interviews for a while because I didn't want the extra tech, I didn't want the extra editing. But as soon as I started doing them, it was easy because I was already following people I admired and commenting on their stuff and so forth and so on. So by the time I was like, I'd like to have them on the podcast, they already kind of knew me in their own creation space. So it was kind of easy in that regard. But then I got to have one-on-one time with them, you know, and really talk to them both on and off the mic as people, not just as an admirer of their work, but as a like, hey, we have something in common kind of thing. And that is the most beautiful thing to me.
Yeah. At the beginning, when you started being just a podcast listener, what were your early heroes in podcasting?
Yeah, it was Terry Gross, definitely. Because she didn't really do shiny, polished, fake. And I loved that because I grew up in the world of shiny, polished, fake. And I didn't like it. I was like, fun's different. But this was more of like repressing your personality. And she wasn't. She was just her. And if she disagreed with someone, she would just say it, not in a mean way. And if something weird happened, she would just laugh. And I'm like that. I like that way of being a human.
Okay. Another thing that I think that one of the great things that I've taken out of podcasting is that my skills, my communication skills, my conversational skills have improved. My journey was that when I was, for 25 years, I was a computer engineer for the local electrical company. Wow. And after I decided to change, I do something different. The first thing that I did after I quit my job, after I changed my job, I joined Toastmasters. Because I wanted to work on that, on my conversational skills and public speaking skills. And at some point, I thought that I really needed to keep on practicing with a podcast. So podcasting for me, it's been like the real place where I can practice listening to people, talking, caring about what they're saying. And that's for me, it's one of the great benefits of podcasting. How I've improved myself as a communicator, as having conversations and having relationships and connecting with people because of this podcasting thing.
Love that. Between moving abroad for the first time in 2003 and starting my podcast in 2017, I was teaching communication a lot. So that wasn't what I needed, but I was also always socially anxious when I was around more than one person. One-on-one, I've been comfortable in my life, but more than one, I've always been uncomfortable. And being able to do different kinds of podcast episodes with one person, two people, a panel, that kind of thing, has really calmed me down in groups of people where I realize I don't have to pay attention to everybody. I can be myself. I can interject when I want to. Like all those little nuances that I feel like everybody else knew going into being a human, and I didn't. I got to figure it out slowly by having different amounts of people on the podcast and then transferring that into real life. So it's helped me a lot with that.
Okay. So one thing is that when you start doing a podcast for yourself, what you want to do, but when you start working with customers, the people that want to create their own podcast, it's sometimes a lot of people think about podcasting and they have a lot of misconceptions and they think that they can start using a microphone and press recording and they'll be famous and they'll be popular and then become an influencer. And I think it's a little difficult for some people when you work with customers, trying to make them see what it really is podcasting and all the work that is required to create a podcast. Was it easy for you working with customers?
I don't think it will ever be easy, especially because I'm a pretty honest person. So I've been told that my intake, I've calmed it down a little bit, but I used to have a pretty intense intake form before I even talked to people because of some of those misconceptions. And I wanted to make sure that we were in the right place for each other.
Okay.
And some people have said, oh, I really learned a lot about my podcast just by filling out this form. Like, well, that's not really the purpose, but I'm glad. But that thing of like trying to get the Joe Rogans out of people's heads when their goal is to get leads for their business. It's like, being that honest person to sit them down and go, okay, this is your goal. We're not going to look at these things because that doesn't matter. It's not a popular thing to say to them. And sometimes they don't like it and they leave. And sometimes they're like, you're right. That's why I came to you. Let's go. And then they trust me and we move on. And I'd rather be honest than anything else. So whatever happens, happens. But yeah, there's a lot of misconceptions.
Okay. There's also another thing is that, like in my case, I've come to a point that I want to work with people where I can find some kind of afinidad. I don't know how to say it. Affinity, is that a word? Yeah. That we're working and we care about the same things or the same values.
Yeah.
I don't want to help somebody have a podcast about all the partying, all the drinking that they did on the weekend. I like to work with people that I think that I like and kind of resonate with their message. Yeah. Resonates with mine. In your case, is that like that? You're trying to choose the people on that affinity or that afinidad?
And that's part of what I was trying to do initially with the form. And now I just do within the first few minutes of talking to them. But I've been really lucky in that a lot of people that have found me, are those lifelong learners that I love to talk to.
Okay.
And they're those people that have that kind of bigger mission. It's like, yeah, this is for my business or for my community. But even within those two realms, there's that deeper, I want to pass it on kind of purpose where they're trying to do something with it, not just that one clear goal. There's a deeper human meaning behind what they're doing. And that resonates with me so much. And as soon as they start talking like that, I'm like, yes, we're good. We can do this. We can do this.
Yeah. And sometimes, I don't know, when you, let me see if I can find the right word to say this. When sometimes I have the chance to help somebody else with their mission or their purpose or what they want to do, and it resonates with me, I feel so grateful, happy, and sometimes I say to myself, I would do this for free because I really think that I'm helping. I don't know, maybe it sounds like a cliche. I try to help. It's like I'm making the world a better place if I'm helping these people, giving out away this, broadcasting this message.
Yeah. And a lot of the stuff I do that looks like marketing for my business is actually also the free stuff I'm putting out there for the folks who either can't afford working with me, whether it be financially or time-wise or energy-wise or whatever reason, because there's so many amazing stories and experiences that can connect us together. And without those getting out there and being, spread around so people know about them, it's impossible to make those connections. So I try to have my marketing be also free stuff for people who just need to do it by themselves.
Okay. Stephanie, the world of podcasting has changed so much in the last years. And, well, a lot of people use the word podcast in a very broad way. So most podcasting purists, they say that just podcast is just mainly audio and it's distributed by our RSS system and things like that. But most of the people think about podcasts and they think about video and short videos and TikTok and Instagram and things like that. Have you stayed focused just on audio, or have you moved to video or other things?
You're asking this now, so I can tell you that right now I am focused on audio. Okay. However, I was a huge proponent of YouTube to support audio podcasts. And about a year into YouTube deciding it really wanted to invest in podcasts, I said, never mind. Because it had changed beyond what I thought was useful for the creators and for the listeners. So now I'm not touching video at all. I've taken it completely off of the thing, and I'm focusing more on the discoverability side and the creation side and all of that. But I've taken my hands off video. I still love video. I watch video every day.
Yes.
But I think that, and it's probably part of a growing pains aspect of this, part of what's happened to podcasts has gone a little too far, and it'll probably come back content-wise eventually.
Yes, I think that what I really loved about podcasting at the beginning, it was that on the mornings I went out to run or to walk around the neighborhood to do some exercise, and I put my earphones and I listened to it. And I was walking and I was being very intimate with that person. I was listening to that. I remember listening to John Lee Dumas, and the other one was Jordan Harbinger, Pat Flynn, and I felt like I got to know those people just listening to them. And to me, it was very important that like that connection, that intimacy that I get with that person. But I don't know, maybe it's a local thing, maybe in Puerto Rico, but I see a lot of people that they just think about having video and having cameras and having, and I feel, in my case, I feel like an outsider because I still enjoy the audio thing. I think that what you say is going to happen, that it's going to go back again to the audio thing, because that's a good thing. It's very special.
It's so special. And I miss that because a lot of the podcasts I used to listen to have either gone away or have gone too far over to the video side. And when I say too far over to the video side, I mean they're doing video, but they're not doing good video. And I'm sorry, but I'm not going to watch just if it's faces most of the time. If there's no automation, if there are animation, if there's no other clips being put in there, if it's just two people talking, I'll just listen. I listen to, or I've been obsessed with the TV show From lately, and I listen to a lot of theory videos on YouTube for it. And because I've already seen the episode, I don't even watch those, and they've got lots of clips in there. So I'm like, for me to watch a video, it has to be like, wow. So by just putting cameras in the room, it's not really doing it for me. And from what I hear, a decent amount of people, they're like, well, why is this video now? Like, what's the reason why there's a visual?
Yeah. For me, it's been like, I just created an audio podcast, and at the beginning, you just lip sync, send it directly to YouTube, and it was just a podcast, an audio podcast on YouTube.
Sure.
And I've been trying to move to video, but because it's easier for me to do it, not because it's my main objective. So it's like right now, I started using first, a couple of years ago, I started using a tool called Squadcast. It was one of the first platforms for recording remotely a podcast. Then I started using Riverside, with help me create, but with Riverside, it creates videos, and it has intelligent AI that helps me create videos. And I'm doing it because it's easy, but I don't want to create like a studio with cameras or lights just to create video, because it's too complicated. It's too difficult. And I don't want to, I want to stay more faithful to I want to stay loyal to audio. So in my case, my podcast is just an audio podcast, and it has a video, but it's mainly an audio podcast.
Yeah. So audio first is what a lot of people say, like audio first or video first.
Yeah.
So yours is an audio first podcast. Yeah.
I see a lot of people that one of the things that they just want to be seen on the camera, and they but they don't care about the audio quality. Yeah. And to me, the audio quality is so important, because with your voice, you can, the tone, your vocal variety, it helps you deliver a lot of the message.
Yeah.
But just if you don't have good audio, it's I don't like that.
Yeah. It's terrible. I mean, again, it's different if you're like walking around outside and you're showing people a specific place. There's a reason why there's a visual, and if the audio is a little bit less, that makes sense. But if you're just talking about two people sitting on couches near each other, there's no reason why your audio needs to suck.
Yeah.
Like none at all.
Yeah. Stephanie, and one of the other things that has been changed lately is artificial intelligence. There are tools that you can record an audio and they get a transcription like Descript, and you can edit the words, and the software will change your voice. And there are podcasts that is just you create a text and an AI voice translate. What's your opinion on AI and podcasting?
Yeah, it depends on why they're doing it. If they're doing it just to save time and to optimize X, Y, and Z, boo, because the voice is important. However, if they're doing it because of some sort of disability or some sort of reason why they can't be on a mic and they can get their message and their voice and their story out there via these tools, amazing. Then we've invited in a whole new group of folks who couldn't podcast before. And I say, yay, let's do it. So it really depends on why they're doing it for me.
On my case, I started using AI on my podcast for the things that are very difficult for me. And like at the beginning, I remember my first couple of podcasts, I tried to transcribe them all by myself.
Oh, no. No.
And 1 hour podcast could be like 3 or 4 hours.
Of your life.
Yeah. It was very difficult.
Oh, my God.
I started just getting transcriptions of my podcast, and with like Riverside, I use it just to make it easier for me to do the video editing and things like that. But I mean the content, the soul of the podcast, the conversation, the ideas, the words. To me, there's no substitute for that. I will always do conversations. I will always have, and so I try to use AI just to make it easier for me to create content and to have more options. But it won't. I don't want to create the content with AI.
Oh, of course. I totally didn't even remember that instance of using it. I was thinking of the AI voice when you said that.
Yes.
To me, taking the output of an AI that hasn't been edited at all by a human and putting that into a podcast, there's no, no, just no.
And one of the things that I think for me, creating a podcast and editing it and creating the content and publishing it, to me, it's very easy. The hardest part for me is trying to market it, all the marketing, because my personality, I'm an introvert and I don't like talking about myself. I don't want to be out there trying to tell the world, listen to me, look at me. So for me, marketing is really, really hard. Do you also work on the marketing, and is it easier for you, or how is it for you?
Yeah, I don't do social media management, but I do 2 aspects of getting podcasts discovered. One is I'll help my clients with where to post about the podcast, what to post, because like new episode out, never got anybody to listen. So we'll pull out like clips. We'll talk about like the ideas in the podcast that are important to pull out and add value to the post so that people will want to listen to the rest. And so I'll do a lot of client training with that kind of thing, but I don't actually make any posts for them. I do my own, but I don't do that for clients necessarily. What I do for them is more on the discoverability side, where I help them with the metadata that everything's crawling on. The search engines, the LLMs, like all of these things are now scanning the episode titles, the transcripts, like you were talking about the transcripts, the keywords, the show notes, all of these things. These platforms are coming in and scanning and looking for answers to what people are asking for or searching for. So I really propagate that out a lot so that when people ask for the things that my clients have in their podcast episodes, boom, they can be matched with each other.
Yeah. Another thing about podcasting is that we didn't talk about this, is that a lot of people think that I can turn on the camera on my phone and create an Instagram reel or Instagram story, and they think it's easy. But one of the things that I like about podcasting is that you create a content that if you handle it well and you publish it well, it's going to be long-lasting, evergreen, and you're going to have your own platform.
Yep.
And I've seen a lot of people that I saw a video a couple of weeks ago in Instagram, and there's no way I can find it again because it's so, I say volatile. Is that a right word? Volatile. It's not easy to find. Volatile.
Oh, it's it's just so fast. It's unorganized. I would say it's unorganized because
Yeah,
there's no way
but
to go and search
yeah,
for it.
it's like vapor. It disappears. So
Mhm.
with podcasting, you create your own platform, your own site, and
Yeah.
it's like you create. To me, it's like you're creating content, but you're creating like a portfolio, like a
Mhm.
group of work
Mhm.
of the things that you do. And if you have it, maybe today nobody listens to it, but hopefully in 2 months somebody will get to that episode and listen to it, and it will be there. Contrary to social media, podcasting is
Mhm.
working on yourself.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just creating your own house, your own home, your own business, and it's not easy, but it's the right thing to do.
Yeah. And your own library. Like it doesn't take that much to build up a deep and rich resource in your podcast that is similar to a library. People are building GPTs for their podcast episodes so people can go in and search just within their podcast to find an episode to listen to answer whatever question. I mean, there's so much content in our podcasts, or
Yeah,
especially our back catalog. And along with the metadata, you can also promote those old episodes. And there's so much you can do with all of those episodes. A
yeah.
library.
When I found you, I saw you on LinkedIn and some other places. When I started having a conversation with you, I
Hmm.
sent you an episode with, I forgot her name, the
Elsie?
Elsie Escobar.
Yes.
So the thing is that I have this, and this episode can appeal to you.
Mm-hmm.
So it was, and like tomorrow, I'm going to interview another a lady from Spain. The thing is that she was a silver medal for like a sub champion of the world in Olympic triathlon.
Oh, wow.
And I when I approached her, I sent her a couple of episodes when I interviewed people that are in that same area. Like
Mhm.
a person, a guy that I met that he's blind and he runs Ironman.
Mhm.
So I sent her that. So the thing is that content that is there is still
Mhm.
useful to me to keep on connecting with people.
Mhm.
So if you have this group of episodes, this content, this library, it can be useful
Mhm.
in the future. So right now, one of the things that I'm doing is that I'm going back to all my episodes and I'm choosing the best ones, and I'm using AI to transcribe them
Mhm.
because I'm gonna write a book. I'm writing a
Yay.
book about it. So instead
Mhm.
of going back and listening to it, I have this big library of audio, and I can create other things with that.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
that's the one of the blessings of a podcast.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. There's so much to do. You can create books, you can create courses, you can, like get information quickly if you're presenting at a conference or something. You've captured all this like amazing stuff. And when you have two people talking together, like an interview podcast like this, there's things that come out of us that we
Mhm.
wouldn't say if we were just talking alone with a microphone. So it's
Yes.
not just two people. It's like that third person is that where those people connect
Yeah,
and share that
that's right.
stuff. It's fantastic. Yeah.
Stephanie, we still haven't got to the point where you talk about how did you arrive on Bilbao? What happened there?
Um,
And-
yeah, well, it was about 22 years into living abroad, and we were in Denmark, and we
Okay.
wanted a place that was a little bit more of an extroverted culture.
Okay.
And we knew, and being two Americans, we needed a place with a visa that fit. So we did a tour of northern Spain because I can't do the heat. So southern Spain was out. So
Okay.
we did a tour of northern Spain. And about an hour in, we both looked at each other and went, oh, this works. And we visited Bilbao and Oviedo and Gijón, but that was just a day trip. So it was really between Bilbao and Oviedo. And we landed on Bilbao because there was a certain, I can't even explain it because I love Oviedo,
Yeah.
but there was a certain something special here. I don't know if it's the crazy bridges that really make it hard for my fear of heights. I don't know if it was the the people or the culture or the mountains. I have no idea, but there was something that just kind of hit us both over the head. And we're like, we're coming here. We don't even need to do another trip. If our visas get approved, this is where we're coming to.
Okay.
So here we are.
And you're taking Spanish lessons because you're not a Spanish speaker.
No.
So how difficult is life there with no Spanish?
I mean, day to day, it's not too bad.
Okay.
But it's when people call me.
Okay.
That's the most difficult because then there's no facial expressions. They don't see my hand gestures. And so that it's hard to do Google Translate on a phone. And so that's the most difficult. Outside of that, although English is not super commonly used, we can work it out. I can pull out my Google Translate, or I can ask someone before I even go try to do something, what are the words I need for that? So I can kind of work it out. People are very, very forgiving of my horrible grammar. Okay. And I'm so thankful for that.
So, do you think Bilbao you're going to be there for a couple of years, or do you have in mind some other places you would like to go and live?
Nah, well, our visa's 3 years.
Okay.
So hopefully we'll be here the whole 3 years. After the pandemic, I never say yes completely to anything because the world is crazy. But I'm hoping we were here for at least those 3. And if things are going well, I'd like to stay longer. I used to like moving every year, but I don't anymore. So if we find a place that we want to and can stay in, I'm happy to just stop and stay there.
Okay. So what's next for you? Do you have a secret project, or do you have anything that you would like to do, would like to try in your future?
I think out loud online. So the things I've kind of trying to bring into fruition, I'm already doing online. I'm doing a bunch of AI for communication stuff in my newsletter and all over LinkedIn and so forth and so on. So pretty much whatever I'm thinking ends up in public online.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, that's where I'm going.
And you can consider yourself like a digital nomad. So because you're traveling and your work hasn't been affected about all the traveling or all the moving around.
Well, the first 18 years, I had local jobs. So I was living and working in the same place. It's only the past 6 years that I've been more of the digital nomad, and I would like that to stop. Like I said, I'd like to stay in one place and maybe work more locally and do more in-person things. The reliance on doing everything online was because of the pandemic and kind of the global nature of what I do as well. But if I can make that more of an in-person business or experience, I'm super happy to do that.
Okay. This is one of those questions that, as I said before, you can ask, you can answer if you want to. If not, it's okay. We can edit it from the episode. So I think this is an interesting time to be traveling and living in Europe and other countries because of all the things that are happening in the United States and how people are viewing United States. Is it, do you when you live in Bilbao, do you get to talk to people and they have curiosity of the things that are happening in the United States? They ask you questions, or they are prejudiced against you because of the things that are happening in the United States? How is it for an American in Spain at this current time?
Right. I don't know that I have a language level to be able to answer that because most of my conversations right now are very transactional in stores and whatnot. I don't have a deep level of language to get into a lot of conversations. When people do switch to English and do ask me about political things, like most other places, they separate out government from people, and they're pretty decent about it. The one place where that's not true is Instagram. There is a bit of a mean element on some of my Instagram posts about Spain, even though I'm posting about things I really, really enjoy. There's a lot of Americans, and but that's Instagram. In person, I don't really see a lot of that.
Okay. So, Stephanie, if somebody would like to contact you, where they can find you?
Yes, I can actually give you the link to, because I have too many things, I wear too many hats in the world.
Okay.
So I have one that has the links categorized so people can skip to the part if they want AI, if they want podcasting, if they want my own projects, they can go to the section that's the best for them.
Okay, we can include that on the episode notes so they can find it. So, Stephanie, it's very challenging for me to have a conversation in English.
Thank you.
But challenges are a good thing. The important thing is to have a conversation and learn from someone else. And I think that podcasting for me, it's been a blessing. All my life right now, it's about podcasting. And like a couple of years ago, I traveled to Madrid, to Spain. And there I had a coffee with another podcaster from Madrid that I met from my podcast. So even though I'm not traveling that much as you, I'm expanding my worldview with my podcast. So to me, it's been a blessing. So, and I'm thankful that you were here having this conversation with me.
Oh, I feel so touched that you invited me on and are doing this because, I'm at a loss for words, and this is my native tongue. So seriously, thank you.
And at some point, it's also podcasting. To me, it requires experimenting. So every once in a while, I do podcasts in English because I don't know how much of my audience can get to listen to that. So I'm trying to do these experiments so people can say, well, if they listen to it, maybe I'll do more. So it's all about that, experimenting and try new things to see how everything works. And the best part, talking with someone new, learning from somebody that you don't know. So thank you for this opportunity to have a conversation.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure chatting with you about these things. Seriously, I'm so glad we're connected.
And hoping that my English isn't as bad as your Spanish.
Your English is phenomenal. It could, please.
Well, right now, we can work out on having a next episode when you come back and try to do it in Spanish.
There we go. 2027, 2028. I'm there.
That's a challenge for you.
I'm there. Yes.
So thank you very much, Stephanie.
Muchas gracias.
Okay. Once again, I thank Stephanie Fuccio for this interesting conversation for this episode today. And thank you for being here and listening to this bonus episode. See you in the next one.